Yo, Hendo here with Average Youth Slo-Pitch. Today, we're bringing out the Easton Alpha ASA USA model. Shout out to my good buddy, John Barthel over there with Batflip BP. He went ahead, sent one of these over for us. We kind of did some swapping there with a couple different bats, so he can demo some stuff that we had that he didn't, and then we didn't have one of these, so we sent it over. I'm gonna get it back to him after this, but nice part about this one is it's already at about 200 or so swings. So we get to start with it pretty much, what I'm guessing is broken in. We'll go ahead and compression here in a moment. We'll have the ASA numbers up there for you so you can see how that converts. But from there, we're only gonna throw, assuming it again is broken in, which I imagine it is, it's got some webbing, stuff like that, no other issues. But we're only gonna throw probably 30-ish swings between the couple of us that are gonna swing it. We'll do the velo like you guys for normal, final compression, come back with final thoughts. Right out Padaka Park today. It's about almost 60 degrees at this point, early in the morning. Again, you probably heard this the last couple videos, but next 2 months until probably the end of May, early June, we've got windy season out here, so we're out here trying to beat the wind. So hopefully we'll be done by about 10:30. Get on as many swings on this as we need to, get you kind of that review, and go from there. So let's get after it. All right, before we put swings here on the Easton Alpha ASA, we're gonna go ahead and see where it's sitting. Again, as we mentioned in the intro, shout out to our buddy John Barthel out there with Batflip BP. He actually had one of these, sent it over to us, let us try it out. He told me he's got probably about 200 swings on it at this point. And actually, let me adjust this tester real fast. I just realized I put it on the one spot where the right-hand batter's box is slanted, so let's make sure this is even. There's where we want it. All right, make sure we can still see this for you guys. All right, cool. I'm gonna try to stay out of where the sun's coming from at this point. But anyways, about 200 swings. This one actually has the PSI here on the barrel of what it needs to test at. So we're looking for 1050, again, in the ASA world. I have the conversion here. I'll quickly run that and then throw it on the screen for you as well. I don't know how the ASA Eastons are supposed to hold, so we'll find out. But at 200 swings, we're sitting at 175. And so the math on this, well, one, if I look at the chart at 175, it tells us we're basically between 1275 and 1250. There's also a math equation you can run. You take the reading, so this 175, and you multiply it by 4.35, and you'll see it should come out the same as our chart. That gives us 761.25, and then you add 500. So I go plus 500, and we're sitting at 1261. So between our chart, that's exactly where it's basically supposed to be. So the chart and that lines up. So either way, this thing's still passing by a mile. And like I said, John told me he has about 200 swings, if not a little bit more. So awesome to see. Let's see how it performs. Okay. You tripped me. Ah, it's a good button back.
I know if I don't.
God damn!
Oh, damn, sucker.
Yeah. Yeah, so immediately 3 swings in for me. Again, John over there with Batflip put 200 on here for us, maybe a little bit more. First one I got towards the end, it feels like you just feel a giant trampoline in there. I mean, the feedback on there's, I like it. And then that last one felt more like the sweet spot, probably still wasn't perfect, and ball absolutely just jumped off of it. So as you saw, it's passing by plenty. This is a 1050 PSI for the nonlinear. So we got lots of wiggle room, and it already feels great. So we're not gonna put a ton more on it since it is already broken in, just get kind of a feel for it and swap to velo. But these Alphas, I think they're sold out with headbangers right now. I haven't looked on the Easton website, but as these come back in, especially if it's still gonna be holding after we get to about 300 swings today, something to keep your eyes on for sure.
You're out in front. Oh, shit. Tie it off.
Oh, floated up there.
Ball's flying off this thing.
There you go. Got to get.
Yeah, I don't think we need more live swings. We already saw a couple people swinging it. The trampoline on it's awesome. If you're a monster person, Yeah, there's no fib in it, so you get that kind of, that's the big difference there. But performance-wise, it's one of the better ASAs we've swung to date. Again, I don't play hardly any ASA. Most of my ASA experience is out here with the different bats, but we swung enough of them now to know that this is kind of up there with some of the top ones we've swung. I'm not calling it a monster by any means. Those fibs and kind of that new tech just performs differently, but this is probably right up there in that kind of top 5 range with the amount of swings on it. We'll do velo right now, see where it's kind of finishing compression-wise, see if at some point we hit that mark, we're just gonna come down. But if it's gonna keep holding, this thing feels great, super forgiving everywhere, great feedback. Pretty excited to kind of see how the velo goes.
Miles per hour.
Sorry, pitcher.
87 miles per hour. 96 miles per hour.
Yeah, so I mean, it came off 96, but again, that was straight barrel. Trampoline effect felt great, and we one-hopped our dead center fence. So Eastons have always been a little off on the velo for me, even with the one pieces, as far as their performance on the field. Don't necessarily match the speeds. So we'll see here with a couple more, but honestly, I don't care what the number says if the bat's gonna perform like that on line drift.
81 miles per hour.
Beautiful.
100 miles per hour.
How many?
100.
85 miles per hour. 104 miles per hour.
Last one.
91 miles per hour.
How many? Hey!
101 miles per hour.
Yeah, again, like we talked about at the end of the live, great performing ASA bat. We're probably sitting at 250 on the swings, assuming John was exactly at 200. Obviously, it's hard to keep count at that point, but all we know is somewhere between 200 and 300 swings. We'll check the final compression. I'm sure it's still passing with the amount of wiggle room we had, but we'll see, and then final thoughts. All right, let's go ahead and see where that final compression's at now with the Easton Alpha USA ASA. Again, shout out to John Barthel over there with Bat Flip BP for letting us try this thing out. Between his swings and ours, this thing's probably just under 300 swings at this point, so just something to keep in mind. It has been sitting in the shade for a while since we swung it, but we're sitting right at 150, a little over 150, probably closer to 160. So on our little ASA chart, that's telling us right now that we are still at probably 1200-ish is what it's gonna put us at. 161 on USSSA is 1200. So at that point, again, 1050's passing. So nearly 300 swings, and you've still got plenty of wiggle room here with the Easton Alpha. All right, field swings, velo, compression test complete here with the USA ASA model Easton Alpha. And again, I know I've already said it, but big shout out to Bat Flip over there, John Barthel, for shooting this over to us. Didn't have to hook us up with letting us try it out, but it was nice getting a bat that already had swings on it, because again, at about 200 swings, it was still testing, if I remember correctly, 1250 on the PSI, which puts about 200 over where it needs to be. And now I still think it's down at 1200, if I remember correctly, from the final test. So there's still wiggle room, and the ball's kind of absolutely flying off this. So the first thing I noticed is it definitely has a huge trampoline effect, which for me, I like that feel, especially out of these ASAs. It's very forgiving. When you catch it a little bit more towards the end of the handle, it does kind of stiffen up like a more standard type of bat, but you still get good performance, as you saw there. The velo on it was good as well. It wasn't quite as high as like we've seen with some of the monsters, but I think I mentioned during the velo, for whatever reason, again, I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but it seems like the Eastons, even though they perform great out here at the field, they don't always measure up speed-wise. So I don't know how the two go hand in hand, but really when we're doing the velo out here, what we're shooting for is, hey, what is that max sweet spot that this bat is giving us? And then based on that max sweet spot, let's just say this one was 100, which I don't remember what the number was, but 100, where are we getting when we're missing the sweet spot, so you know exactly how forgiving it is? Because if I can hit 100 miles an hour, if that's the max on this bat, let's say, from here to here, that's better in my opinion than a bat that hits 105 here and then drops off to 95 everywhere else, because you're not going to catch the sweet spot every single time, especially if you're not a seasoned player. And it should help out decide, based on how often you swing, the type of player you are, you know if you need a more forgiving bat or not. So it was great. This one was real forgiving, high up there on the velos, or consistent there, I should say, on the velos. And again, other than some webbing here, is doing just fine with compression, durability, everything at 300 swings. So keep your eye out. This one, you can see John got it from HB Sports. I believe we're currently sold out of this, so you're gonna have to check out Easton if you want this. Not sure who else carries it. Haven't really kept an eye out on all the different inventories, but if you need help finding one, reach out to us. We'll locate one for you, get you in touch with somebody who can get you one of these, hopefully at a pretty good price. Worst case, if we need to and you want to wait till HB restocks it, get with me and I'll get you squared away with kind of the best price I can. But with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this helped you kind of decide on what your next ASA USA bat's going to be or not be. And thanks for supporting the channel. Have a great day.